Okay, my name is Zakashi, guys, and in this video here we're going to be doing a chrono crystal guide, but it's going to be different from my usual ones because in this one we're going to be discussing the best ways to get chrono crystals. So even though I usually give every possible way that you can get chrono crystals, in this specific video we're going to be discussing the best ways, and I'm going to choose 5 ways which would get you the chrono crystals that you want the fastest and the easiest. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video, man. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button. We're on this grind to 50,000 subscribers. Let me know how many chrono crystals you guys got in the comment section before we get into this video, but we're getting into the video right now, so yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so number 1 on this list, this is easily the fastest, probably the most efficient, and you require the least work out of you to actually get chrono crystals this way. It's soul boosting. Now soul boosting, you get chrono crystals every time you do like 100 panels of soul boosting. Now what I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind if you see all the numbers on the screen. So if I actually go to this sort setting here, and what you want to do is you want to go to unlocked boost panels. Now you're going to see there's all these characters in the game, and all of them have a minimum of 426 boost panels. All the characters in the game have 426 boost panels, and then when they get to Zenkai they get 864. Now with those numbers, if it's every 100 that you actually get 10 chrono crystals, or however the hell how much it is, it's a lot, by the way. I've already completed it because there's a limit. Unfortunately the limit is, I believe, 200,000 boost panels. I had to rate it down, so I had to check. 200k boost panels, and you get 10 cc every 10. That means for every unit that you do, you're getting 40 cc, right? If it's Legends Weekend, it's easy as hell to actually get souls through the actual bonus battle event. So if I go to the event section, right, and then I actually go to upgrade, you can see there's all of these bonus and bonus battles, and they pretty much double, maybe triple the drops during the weekend, being Saturday, Sunday and Monday. There's also loads of souls to be achieved or gained from the exchange shop. So for example, when you do the adventures every single month or whatever it is, and then if we actually go to permanent, there's a lot of more ways to actually get souls. I believe you can get souls through the soul exchange medal, which is one of the ways. Let me even confirm if you can get, not the Z2 medals, I believe it's the Z medals. You can actually get souls here. These are only Zenkai souls, so if you want to go the further step and actually do your Zenkais, you can actually do it through that as well. So overall, soul boosting is pretty easy to do, low cost, because really and truly you're gonna just use your main units. So having the ability to just soul boost every single unit in the game, what I advise you do is actually starting with your summonable ultras, right? Don't do the free to plays because they require a specific type of soul, so don't worry about them. Then go through all your sparkings. Again, avoid lots of the free to plays because they require a specific type of soul. Avoid the Zenkais unless you're specifically going to use them, because getting Zenkai souls is also another mission in itself, and it costs you more. So it's very cheap to actually do non-Zenkai sparkings. So if I actually take, for example, this Goku here, just because I haven't soul boosted him, if I go to soul boost, right, if I just press unlock all, literally in 2 buttons I literally got up there 426 boost panels, just like that. So that's actually very, very efficient. Then after that you should go through the extremes. So I'd say summonable ultras, sparkings that are not Zenkais or the free to plays, then you should go to your extremes, then you should go to the heroes. Ignore your Zenkais until last pretty much, and anybody that's free to play even further beyond that, because they require further souls which are just inconvenient to grasp. This easily here is the quickest way you can get chrono crystals, and if you haven't done this yet, go ahead and do so. Just to finalize, if you want to actually get the chrono crystals, you actually have to go to your Z mission. So if you go to event, then you go to Z missions, you'll be able to claim them here. But like I said at the start of this section of the video, I've already claimed all of the options. I'm past 200,000. You should be able to tell that by my character box and the fact that most of them are Zenkai'd as well and completed. So pretty crazy if you look at it, of course. But again, there's a lot of characters in the game. Like, this is a big list and I'm scrolling pretty fast, but if I take my time, you'll really be able to appreciate how many units are in the game. But that means there's a lot of gold to be achieved in this game. But yeah, go ahead for sure and soul boost your units. Okay, number 2 on this list, you might not be happy about it, but it's actually the story mode. The story mode gives you an insane amount of chrono crystals. Now, I feel like the big question is not going to be the fact that it gives chrono crystals or how you can get chrono crystals from the story. Rather, how fast can I do it? I feel like a lot of people don't like the story because it's very tedious. You're doing the same battles over and over again, and the challenges are annoying. Just in case you actually want to do this, but you're annoyed about how the challenges go, what I advise you actually do is to just not do the challenges at first. If you need chrono crystals fast, go ahead and clear everything. Don't, like, as in, don't do every individual challenge. So let me just show you, for example, what I mean. You see how you have all of these challenges here? Just don't worry about them. You can go back and do them later when you really need to scrape chrono crystals. But in my opinion, I just wouldn't be bothered to go back. I like to do everything in one sweep. But if you need chrono crystals fast, then you just shouldn't worry about it. And the reason I say that is because if you clear every single story mode, every single chapter, you actually get the first time clear, which is 10 chrono crystals. Let's assume you get some of the challenges. So let's say you got like 12, right? Because you did like what, 4? Cool. You're doing good, you're doing good. And then on top of that, if you go to missions, right, you actually get 10 chrono crystals as well from the Z missions for just clearing it for the first time, which is another plus. And then on top of that, there's some more legends missions. I can't clear anymore, but as you're clearing challenges, you'll be getting chrono crystals here, which is another reason why I say you should just do the challenges straight away. But if you don't want to, you'd still rack up challenges as a result. So you should actually just go ahead and clear the story mode. Don't worry about the challenges, but you're just going to get naturally clear challenges by just the way you play. I advise, if you want to speed up your progress even further, you actually invest in the Legends Pass, because then you could actually auto it. Literally, it gives you the option of 2x speed over here, which is dope. It would literally be a lifesaver for you. And one thing I want to actually say, which is more important than anything else I've said, there's actually a method to actually clear the story faster, one that I use. If I actually go to the story mode right now, I'm not exactly caught up, but if I wanted to, I could get those 77 challenges clear very, very fast. I'll link the video in the description below. It's a video that I've made where I use a certain method to actually clear every single challenges, because the challenges have a pattern, but you wouldn't know that if you're going challenge for challenge until you get a certain part and you're very, very like perceptive of what they're actually throwing at you. But there's a pattern to the challenges that they actually bring to you, so you should be able to just figure things out straight away, and you'll be able to clear the challenges faster, actually getting you more chrono crystals and not having to return to challenges that you haven't cleared. Story mode number 2, very, very effective method. Do not sleep on it. This one, along with the story mode, is kind of obvious, but I'm going to mention it because it's actually very, very important in the order that you do things. So what I like to advise for is that you actually prioritize things that have timers on them, because anything that has a timer on them probably won't return for a couple months, and that means you'd actually be missing out on chrono crystals that you could have got while the events were there, for literally a new set of chrono crystals that would be there for another 20 days, and now you've got to wait. So for example, if I go to original series, these just refresh, but they say 16 days. But by default, I should prioritize that over these ones here. So the Advent of Frieza, the Dreaded Ginyu Force, so on and so forth. Because these ones here, they actually give you a lot of chrono crystals, right? If you actually go ahead and Zenkai them, the free to plays, but it costs you a lot of energy. But because the events are not limited, they stay forever, you shouldn't need to worry about them. There's no time on them, as you can see. This one says 16 days, this one says 16 days. The recommended section, the same thing. These ones have timers on them. Not everything here gives chrono crystals, for example, the Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush, but if you haven't ever cleared these things, you should definitely go through before they finish. So for example, the Gauntlet's in 12 days, so I'll start with the Gauntlet and then actually go ahead and do the full power battle, and so on and so forth. This one's even 6 days, this Raging Battle, the Fierce Fight, Kid Buu and Margin Vegeta, so I should actually prioritize those instead, simply because they're going to disappear, they're going to reset to new events. So in that time that they're here, I should capitalize off them, get every single challenge done, and actually from there, when it resets, I'd be able to get a brand new set of chrono crystals. Whereas if it just resets, I'd only basically have one set of chrono crystals, and I would have missed out on an event that probably won't return for a couple months. So in that, definitely play all the events, but it's more so advising that there's an order to do it, and if you do the order correctly, because of the timers, you'd actually be able to capitalize on more chrono crystals. So for example, if it's a Tuesday, Legends resets on Wednesday, so it will be like 6 hours left or something on a Tuesday, and then you did everything on that Tuesday. Next thing, you wake up the next day, you got a new set of missions. That's dope. But that doesn't happen anywhere else in the game, really and truly, besides from a few sections. But it's not like consistent, if that makes sense. Also, you don't need to prioritize some of these things. So if I actually go to let's take the equipment collection, right? On the first time clear, you get your chrono crystals, but the challenges, they do not give you chrono crystals, so you shouldn't need to worry about these more than anything else. And on top of that, they don't really disappear, they don't have timers, so you don't need to worry about those at all, to be honest. These ones on the right, they're pretty much always here unless you unlock them by a key, like the Super Gogeta one, which I have as well. So you also don't need to rush these ones either. Pretty much just the original series and the recommended. Even the co-op as well has a timer on it, 16 days, so you should be doing all of the challenges on these as well, like I have, to actually maximize your chrono crystals. events, easily another place where you can get a lot of chrono crystals, and that's not even including the missions that you could actually claim and actually get chrono crystals depending on which events that you actually do. A lot of people are not going to like to see this here, but for any new players, PvP is very, very key and fundamental in the game to actually obtain chrono crystals. A lot of people don't play it, which is actually surprising to a lot of people, but again, it's probably the most popular section of the game. It's what makes the game, to be honest. PvP, you really just need to build one team, and one team that's good enough to actually withstand a lot of the units in the game. And I'm not even telling you to go for like a very, very high rank, like top 1000 or anything like that. Even if you land in the top 10,000, which isn't that difficult to get, you may believe it or not. If you want advice, I've got PvP guides on the channel as well to actually increase your game. Literally press the channel, they're literally bracketed at the top in a playlist. If you increase your PvP tech so you can actually get better at the game and build one good team, you'd be able to compete. And you only need to aim for the top 10k. In some seasons it's 1,000 chrono crystals, in other seasons it's 2,000 chrono crystals if it's like a double. So you can see here, literally, if you place in the top 10,000, so between 6,000 and 10,000, you can literally get 1,200 chrono crystals, and then you also get additional chrono crystals depending on what group you're in. It's easily the most profitable section of the game. I'm not gonna lie, outside of like story mode and the soul boosting I've mentioned and the events, I would say it's the most consistent source of chrono crystals, because even with the story mode, you can catch up to the story mode, then you can't get chrono crystals anymore. The events, you can clear all of them, then you can't get chrono crystals anymore. But PvP resets every 2 weeks, so long term, it's actually a lot better than anything else that I've mentioned, because there's no limit on PvP. It's always gonna reset. There's no cap on it. You can always get chrono crystals every 2 weeks, sometimes 3. So I definitely advise investing into PvP if you're going to be playing this game, for sure. Invest into getting better at the game, but you can watch some guides on my channel and build one good team. I've also got a lot of team guides on my channel, so consider those 2 things so that you can actually apply yourself to PvP more than anything else. Really and truly, it's going to take you a bit of time. It's not going to happen overnight, but of course, once you get into it, I'm sure you have fun as well. And I feel like that's more important than anything else I'm mentioning. You want to have fun while you're doing what you're doing. In that same actual category, I'm not going to separate them. Tournament of Power works on a similar premise. There's just that the game mode's different. It's like a board where you actually build up by doing battles, and you actually just have to keep your units alive. More than anything, keep your units alive. If your units die, you will not be able to capitalize. Literally, you'd plummet in your score if you do not stay alive, simply because this mode works on a multiplier, and the longer you stay alive, the more of a multiplier you get, which will increase your score tenfold. I just haven't opened it since the season ended, so I just happened to actually get the season result. So I'm going to show you here. I placed 7,615th, which is not even especially high, and I actually got 1,000 chrono crystals off it. I just always aim for the top 10,000 so I can get my 1,000 chrono crystals, and the new season starts. Every 2 weeks, similar to PvP, you actually are able to get 1,000 chrono crystals. I don't think it's ever double. I don't remember a time where it's been double. But again, invest into a good team as well. I just use regen because I've actually got all their friendship ranks high, but I'm not saying regen is one of the best options. If you want to copy a team, just literally go to the rankings and copy one of the top players' teams. I'll also advise that you wait until the last day or 2, maybe 3 days before. So when your tank gets to 25 pretty much, that's when you should start playing, because you want to see what other people are using. And just for sake, I'm gonna promote 2 other content creators, because me with T.o.P, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. You want to check Pomzor, P0MZ0R, or you want to check Azdeek. Pomzor has a Discord server where they literally show the T.o.P Tournament of Power route every single season, which is every 2 weeks. And Azdeek does YouTube videos on it, so either way, which way you want to go, definitely check those 2 guys out, and they would actually be able to help you. Pomzor server I found is a bit more helpful, but that's just me personally. And again, definitely be sure to check the top rankers, but usually check closer to the end of the season when the gas tank, the TP, is actually full, so that you can actually copy a good team. It takes long to load, but I'm trying to show you like the top 1,000, and you can just copy one of these guys' teams because they're doing pretty good right now. Girls is a decent team, it seems. What else is here? You can see a lot of girls all over the place. What's this person using? They've got Krillin. He's using Super Warriors, I believe. So yeah, definitely consider T.o.P in the same bracket as PvP. I'm not going to separate them because it's like, I'm going to call them bi-weekly events. Bi-weekly competition, that's what I'm going to call it. In the same boat but in a different fashion, we've got bi-weekly missions. So we've got the Legends mission plan, and we've also got the daily stamp rally. Both of those things, it takes you 14 days for both of them. So I actually just restored my mission plan yesterday. You see there's 13 days left, so I get 14 days to actually clear out my whole mission plan. And if you go 14 days for your stamp rally, which I also just finished mine now, and I need to claim my first day, you'll be able to get 1,000 chrono crystals. From the mission plan, I believe you can get 2,000 or 3,000 chrono crystals if you get the battle lovers plan, and I always advise for you to get the battle lovers plan because it gives you the most chrono crystals out of any mission plan. But alongside the daily stamp rally, I believe that's like 4,000 or 3,000 chrono crystals. So overall, you should just be doing your dailies, your mission plan, choose the highest one. The missions are slightly harder in the battle lovers plan, but not that much more difficult. It's really just the PvP aspect of it that makes it a bit more difficult. But if you're already investing in PvP, like I told you before, you should also be investing in your mission plan, so you'll be able to do 2 birds in 1 stone and actually be knocking down chrono crystals faster than ever. Definitely advise you do this more than anything else. And if you're looking for chrono crystals, you need to be consistent, man. The stamp rally, log in every day, do your dailies. The dailies are pretty easy, man. Like hyperdimensional co-op or PvP, do a bonus battle, 10 energies, real easy stuff, man. It's nothing difficult. It could take you like 5 minutes quickly, especially if you don't even need to do a PvP battle. You could just do a co-op, and the first person you play with will 100% get a rush and you're done. So it's not even asked for a rush, just play. You don't even have to win or lose. Like, it doesn't matter the result of the whatever you play. You literally just have to do it, and then you'll be able to accept or get my daily missions here. You can see here 2 missions completed, accepted all rewards, and you're gonna see I'm gonna get a stamp. Oh, I even leveled up. Yeah, look at me leveling up. Daily missions complete. There we go. You can get a total of 1,000 chrono crystals every 14 days. Alright, so there are other options in the game, but what I'm going to show you here is through the character selection, and I call it the equipment rolling method. I feel like this is the most underrated method of getting chrono crystals, especially if you did not know about it. If you did know about it, or you actually play the game, then you might be in a deeper hole. But for guys that didn't know about it, this is like a gold mine. So you're going to see that I have a lot of these plat equipments, right, that are Z. And if we look at this one, I'm going to use Super Saiyan 4 Goku's, right? This fits specifically. They're unit specific platinum equipments. The good thing about them is on their 3rd slot, they don't work like regular percentage equipments. You see this one, I've got different percentages I can get. This one, I got different percentages I can get, and there's a range. But this one here, there's slots. So it's either you get option 3, option 1, option 2, option 3. You only have a choice between 1, 2, and 3. But it's not a choice, it's RNG. So when you're re-rolling, you have the odds of getting one of the 3. I've got the lowest slot right now, and you can see it's a Z. But why that's important, the Z, is because every time you roll a Z, I believe you get 10 chrono crystals. Then at some point it might change to 10 Z's, you get chrono crystals as well, 10 chrono crystals. Then at some point it's slightly higher, and there is an expiry point. It's not infinite, but the reason why I think this is better and faster than a lot of other methods is because, for example, like raid, like the raid that happens once a month, sometimes twice, and the anniversary maybe more than that, is because with those you have to wait for them to appear, and it's only a one run and done. With the equipment rolling, yes, it does have a limit. However, when you actually do it, you'll be able to stack chrono crystals fast, and this is about speed, and most people probably haven't done this. Now, the only sacrifice is that you'd have to use your slot removers, but if you're looking for chrono crystals, you're not going to care about slot removers. So let me just show you what I mean when this happens. Every time I re-roll, even if I get the lowest slot, so you go on the inflicted damage, just re-upgrade it, even if I get the lowest slot, it's gonna be a Z, and that counts as me rolling a Z. And every time you stack up the Z's that you roll, so if I did 10, I'd probably get a new mission unlock, and this actually goes towards my Z missions. So if I go to my missions right now, you'll see I have some missions there. I've actually completed all of the Z ones, I believe, but there's also some other ones. So you'd be doing 2 birds in 1 stone, where every time you get over like 100, I believe it's 50 at one point, A rank or higher, so it's A, S, Z, Z plus, you'd actually also get chrono crystals. So not just for Z's, but also for A or higher. So it's almost getting 20 chrono crystals every single 10 or something like that, which is actually very easy to do. Now, one thing I need to mention with actually doing this is that you need to actually grind one good platinum equipment. So where you want to go is the upgrade section, ultimate equipment collection, and you want to pick one of the equipments where they have a face on them. Now, not all of them. For example, Margin Vegeta's one isn't good, so I advise you probably just use Super Saiyan 4 Goku or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, one of these ones, and then you go ahead, and then what you want to do, clear all the challenges, clear it, and then you want to just keep rolling until you get one of these with the first slot either red or yellow, preferably red, because it makes it easier to actually just get yourself in the nicer position. Now when you get that slot, what you want to do is get a decent slot in the middle, whether it doesn't have to be yellow or red, it depends on your first slot though, but it needs to be a high enough number so that even if the third slot is in the lowest possible option, you would still be able to keep it at a base Z like what I had. So let me go back to my equipment so I can show you exactly what the case was. You can see with my equipment, the first slots are red, the middle slot, it's not the highest, it's not even a yellow, but it's still a 6.3, which is high enough to keep it at a base Z, even though the third slot is in the lowest possible option I could get out of the 3. And that allows me to just keep re-rolling, and every time I'll be re-upgrading as a Z, stacking up my missions and just giving me a bunch of chrono crystals. So yeah, I call this the equipment re-rolling method. It's very, very useful, but again, it's at a sacrifice of your slot removers. Bear that in mind. If you don't care about your slot removers, your Zenny too, by the way, if you don't care about those two things, stack up a bunch of chrono crystals and have a good day, man. Have a blast. I've got a little cheeky bonus one for you guys, but of course it's the pay to win method. If you go to the shop, you'd actually just be able to buy chrono crystals, but there's only one small downside, but it doesn't matter if you've got infinite money. You can't buy chrono crystals when you're above 20,000 chrono crystals. Wild, isn't it? But if I actually just give you an example here, I'm just going to purchase this. You're going to see it's going to give me the special message that says the maximum amount of 20,000 chrono crystals has been reached. Please use your chrono crystals before purchasing more. So I actually can't buy chrono crystals because I'm at 32,000. But if I was below 20,000, I'd actually be able to actually buy straight away. Even if it's 19,999, I could buy chrono crystals. Well, of course, this is the best method out of all of them, but it's at a sacrifice of your real life money. Is that something you want to do? None of my business, but I'm just here to be the messenger, man. Okay, that's going to be the end of the video now, but hopefully this video was useful, hopefully it was helpful. Some of the actual options that I gave, I actually just had to combine them because they're pretty much the same thing in different sections of the game. But outside of that, hopefully this video was generally helpful. This is what I'd actually do if I was actually trying to get chrono crystals, especially if I was new in the game. Press that subscribe button, man. I'm on this grind to 50,000 subscribers. Show some love on the channel, man. We're trying to push this year. Hair reveal then as well, but I'm gonna leave the video like that, man. Check out my channel for other guides as well, very valuable, and some of them linked to the things that I've shown in this video. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.